All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to the stream. It is Monday, so sorry for those of you who have 9 to 5 jobs. Mondays are the worst, but you know, that's why we're here. We're gonna chill for a little bit and get some work done. But before I get into what we're going to be working on today, I want to remind everyone that Gunforged is available for sale. So if you want to support my work as I try to be a full-time indie game developer, that is a great way to do it. So purchasing Gunforged is, and if you purchase it, leave a review. I'd very much appreciate it. I want to hit 50 reviews. I'm at 49 right now. So if I could get 50, that'd be amazing. And you could also download the demo or add it to your wish list. You also have the option to purchase it as part of a bundle, which are listed on the store page. So definitely check that out if you want to support my work. I also have my Udemy courses available for sale. This is one of them, how to create a complete survivor style game in Godot 4. So yeah, that's a great way of supporting my work as well. And it's a great way of kickstarting your Godot learning journey if you want to get into Godot. So those two things are available in the description below. And let's go ahead and get into what I'll be working on today. So what I did over the weekend is I was working on some UI improvements. I think on Saturday's stream I did the layout for this kind of UI stuff. So we've got the inventory on the left-hand side and the cell here. And then I started working on this health globe, which I think is turning out pretty good. I may end up doing some more work with it in the future, but I think for now it's pretty cool. It's got like a little frame here, which is just like a skeletal hand, like holding it basically. And then we've got, of course, the liquid on the inside. And then I still put the number here just so that you could see, you know, what the exact numbers are there. Because if you're increasing your max health by 15 and you don't know what your max health is, that's like a huge problem, right? So those are those elements there. Now, because I removed the health bar underneath the player board here, I needed to put a different spot for status effects and all that stuff. So I still have some work to do with respect to the status effects and the damage and all that stuff. I'm going to be moving the floating damage numbers so that they appear above the board instead of above the health bar. I think that's going to be fine. It's going to be visually clear to the player what's going on. And if you want to know what your number is, you could just look at the top there. So that's what's going on here. And I'm going to be working on that today. And then we'll see what other visual oriented stuff I wanted to do today. I do want to put effort into the visuals at this point in the game, make everything feel nice and mature, and that will give me a good base to work off of as I start developing more features. So with all that said, let's get into it. Hello, Jesse. Welcome back. It's going great. I'm doing well. How are you doing? Bummed you had to miss Saturday's stream. Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing is I can't, not everyone's going to be available for every stream, but that's why the VODs are available. So if you want to go back and watch those, you can definitely do that. Okay, so what are we doing? Let me show you what I have. So let me put this in here. Okay, let's put this over here. Max health increase, 0. So there's no numbers appearing, that's fine. Increase board size. There's a little bit of lag that happens there. I wonder why that happens. Anyway, I'll figure that out later. So let's see what this does. So there's going to be no floating numbers here, which is unfortunate. So I need to add those back. So anyway, that's what we got going on here. I didn't yet fully test what happens here with the status effects. The status effects should appear vertically here when you get them. But do I actually have... Do I have any enemies that can apply status effects yet? I don't think so, actually. I don't think so. So maybe that's kind of like a moot point right now because I don't have any... I don't think I actually have any enemies that can apply status effects to the player. Oh, that's interesting. Also, this is misaligned, I'm just realizing. So let's go to the health globe scene and we'll fix that. What is this? What is this? Oh, progress padding. Do I want to put this in here? Nope. All right, we'll just add another margin container here. Status padding. Take this, make that ignore. Put that in there. Okay, that's fine. And then I just need to bring this so that it's aligned with the top here. So I think that'll be 3. We'll just set those all to 0 here. Yeah, I think that's right. Okay. Fixed. Hello, Damien. Welcome back. Hello, Yaso Nex. Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. Good luck with your game. Is that a Balatro profile pic, or is that the Joker? Or it looks like a Joker. I think it's Balatro. Good luck with your game. I hope you really managed to make it to the release. You got a new sub. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. I see Diablo orbs. Yes. Diablo orbs are like a perfect... I don't know. They're just like a perfect thing to do when you're doing this kind of like dark fantasy sort of game. So shamelessly taking that. So now that the player has a health globe, do you plan on doing anything different with the enemy health? Yeah, I gotta figure that out still. Not at the moment, but maybe in the future. It's kind of like I just get like these bursts of inspiration, and that's when I kind of like work on the UI and the visuals and stuff. And then some days I just like, I can't just sit down and do something. So I kind of have to just like wait for those things to come to me, as like pretentious as that sounds, but it's true. It's like I don't really have any good ideas, but if you have suggestions, I'm definitely open to that. But typically I'll just get like a burst of like, ooh, that would be cool. And I just go into Aseprite and I draw something up. And that's basically how it has to go. Hello, Quidgy Pixel. Welcome back. Making health UI. Yes, continuing to work on it. It's mostly done. At least the player health stuff is mostly done. But there's some work to do. NetK, welcome back. Good to see you. Snupbill, thank you for the IDR 10,000. Very much appreciate that. That's always very generous. And we have our Yummers message that we all look forward to every morning. Thank you, Snupbill, and welcome back. Hello, Christopher. Good morning to you as well. And welcome back. All right. So what am I doing? So I need to move the floating text numbers. So right now, I believe that those things are in the board UI, which is kind of unfortunate because I made the board UI kind of generic so that it can support all types of boards, but now I'm like making a clear distinction between the player board and an enemy board, and so therefore that code is not really reusable. So in here I have the text float stuff, text float on health change. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new 2D scene, board text float component, board text float component, scenes component, board text float, add child node, resource preloader, bring over the text float onto here. And the way that this is going to work is I'm going to put this in the board here. Where's this board UI? Where's that text float actually being spawned? Health bar global position. Yeah. So what I'll do here, do I want to put that in the fade group component? Might as well. Board text float component. We're going to put this here. Now this needs to be centered. So what I'm going to do is mark this as unique. Effect player, targeted effect player. Okay, I'm going to reset these. We're going to add another node 2D here. Oops. Node 2D. Board center. Sender. Center. This is going to be 27 by 27. We need to update this board center as the board size changes as well. So we're going to go ahead and lock that. And then this, we'll just put this at 27 27 to start. Actually, I probably want to make this like negative 18. Well, we'll start it in the center and we'll see how it works. All right, so in the board here, so there's I got a lot of what is it? Irons in the fire here. I don't know if that's the right phrase. Node, private, node 2D, board center. So grid size, grid changed. Here we go. On grid changed. I might as well just make an update center position in here. Private void update center position. Did I call that center? Board center? Board center is equal to we're gonna do board inventory component dot dimensions times game utils dot tile size. Divide this by 2. Board center dot position. And then what we're gonna do is we need a reference to that board text float component. So let's do that. Node private board text. Oh, I didn't add a script for that yet. Okay. Scripts. And then I think that's fine actually. Board text float component. This is a vector 2i. Do I have to do this? Do I really have to do this? Vector 2i. Or not vector 2i, just plain vector 2. Board inventory component dot dimensions. Oh my gosh, what is going on here? Yep, that's fine, and then we can replace that. Cool. Okay, and then board text float component dot position is equal to board center dot position. I can't make that a child of board center, unfortunately, because of the rendering order. So actually, I wonder if I could. Maybe this would be more appropriate down here. Maybe that would be more appropriate there. So we'll just change the board center position here. Update board center position. Oh. Update center position. Alrighty, so that's one thing to do. Now I actually need to move the text float stuff over into this board text float component. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to tell the AI to do this because it's kind of just wrote stuff. So I'll tell the AI to do this and then I'll catch up with chat. Board UI, move the text float and related code or copy from board UI over to board text float component, making changes. Implementation. All right, I'm a bit out of the loop. What's a yummers? Someone please help. I'm sorry, it's an inside ritual. I'm sorry, Damien. You have not yet been initiated. Yummers is an informal way of saying something delicious. Or Google says. What's a yummers? Oh, okay, so you're just wondering what the word is, yeah. Next time I'll just Google myself instead of being lazy. Hello, Neozoid, welcome back. Craig, welcome back to you as well. Good to see you. Hello, Dev by Slavi. Great to see you again. Working on another game now. Yes, this is my collectible card game, Medieval Science, Alchemy, Necromancy, Auto Battler. Did I say Auto Battler already? No, what? No. Board text float should so the AI went off the rails here. What else is new? This is really where like the vibe coding thing is useful, because I could just go in here into this board UI and copy over all the related code, but with a good enough prompt, the AI will just do that for me. And I don't have to do all that rote, tedious stuff. But it's also taking forever, so I don't know what's going on. Okay, let's see. Sweet. That seems right to me. That seems right to me. All right. So yeah, I could have done that myself, but you know how it goes. Cool. So let's build. And then what we can do is in the board text float component, we'll just assign that health component there. Cool. Let's see if that works now. So if I take damage as the player, I should see the number now. I'm probably going to see duplicate numbers. Probably going to see duplicate numbers here real soon on the enemy board. But let's see what happens here. Okay, perfect. Now, why is that not working? Effect player component. Oh, why is this? Oh, this is wrong. These need to be set to 0. Yeah, there's the duplicate numbers. But I think that the centered numbers look a lot better. How did I not die there? That's crazy. All right. So we'll take care of those duplicated numbers in a second here. Just clicking through everything. So it looks like those effects are not centered, which is weird, but the numbers are centered on the board now, which I think is actually nice. It would be nice for those to render on top of the effect. Is the effect, hold on a second, effect player component, is this never used? Effect player component. Oh, you know what? I think that those, oh, interesting. Damage effect. Where is damage effect used? Damage effect. Oh, this is adding it to... Oh, shoot. Why is that? I don't think I need this. I think I could just add... I think I can just do that. Oops. I don't think I need this effects anymore. Where is this? Yeah, this doesn't need to be here anymore. So we're going to get rid of that. Get rid of this. That's good. So now the effects are going to be local to the board, which is good. Targeted effect player component. All right, let's see if I broke anything. I'm sure I did. I wonder if I should add the ability to skip these encounters. Give some reward for skipping. All right, let's see. That is not correct. So I'm going to need to change a couple of things here, I think. Okay, all right. My effects are broken. I think... Okay, we'll deal with that line effect in a second here, but this effect player component, this global position, I'm actually going to get rid of this. I don't think this needs to be here. Since these are going to be added as children to the effect player component here, it's already going to be centered, so I don't need to change their positioning. So really, that's all that needs to happen there. So that should fix that, and then we'll have to figure out what to do about that line effect. Let's see. Boom. All right, we got our damage effect center now. So that should all just work now. We got to fix that line. I think that's working great. So there's a couple of tweaks that I want to make here. Board text float component. Board text float component. This. In the board here. Update center position. I am going to change this. Board text float component dot position is equal to new vector 2. We're going to do dimensions dot x. Let's do actually board center position dot x divided by 2, and then 0 in the y. And then what? We gotta fix that line stuff. So this line in here, play directional effect. So last position, position. I think it's just as simple as doing to local. See if that works. Booster. I'm gonna do new headstones for each of the booster types as well. All right, let's see what happens. Hopefully that line effect is gonna work now. Yes, perfect. Okay, Although that text does not seem to be spawning this right spot still. Why is that? Let me look at my remote scene tree here, and I'll just make sure that that's at the right position. So if I go to my game UI, board containers, board stack container, player board stack, position is 9. Oh. I just made a basic mistake here, I think. This is already divided by 2, so this is just board position.x. Wait a minute. Oh, I'm doing this entirely wrong. This needs to be 0. And then this needs to be negative board center dot position dot y. So I'm trying to align it to the top, but since it's a child of this board center node, that means that it needs to be offset by the amount that the board center is down. I think that's right. Jeepers. I really need to make some dev tools to make this quicker. Oh, I just soft locked myself. I have to fix that too. Goodness. Goodness, goodness. All right, all right. Okay, that's looking much better now. So yeah, the number's coming out of the top middle of the board now, which I think just looks better. So we do need to figure out what to do about that enemy health bar, but we should probably get rid of those double numbers now, which should be simple enough. But yeah, that's looking great. That's looking great. So let's get rid of those board numbers. Board UI. We're going to get rid of the resource preloader. Get rid of this on health changed. Update health bar. No. I still need to update the health bar. I'm just going to get rid of the text float stuff. Okay, I think that's it. Hello, Sanzo. Good morning, Rad Gamer Nation. Good morning to you as well. Good to see you again. Yeah, I can't wait to sink my teeth into some alchemy, or not alchemy, sink my teeth into some visual stuff with this game. Gotta get rid of this begin button. Let's put this here. All right, so the double number should be gone. Perfect. Oh, that's not applying. It's playing the poison effect, but it's not applying any poison. So I should probably not play that poison effect. Effect player component, play effect for ability, poison. Do I want to handle it in here? I actually don't think I have a choice. So play effect for ability. I think what I want to do in here is we'll keep it. So basically if the number is 0, if the poison applied is 0, then I don't want to play the effect. So I think what I'll do is I'll just say, can I do this? Does that work? If poison dot, oh, base card ability is I ability magnitude. Let me see, simple poison. I ability magnitude, yeah. So I think equals 0. Or let's do less than or equal to 0, I guess. Break. So we're not going to apply poison if there is no poison to apply. Actually, is that going to work? Hold on a second. This might not work. Play effect for ability. This needs to be get magnitude. Play effect for ability. This might not actually work. Notify ability executed. Oh, no, it should. No, it should. Okay. All right. Meant to say earlier when I saw it, the globe with the filled liquid has a seam at the textured edge sometimes. Is it multiple textures scrolling horizontally? A seam at the edge. It's just two particle systems. So it's kind of weird. The health globe in here, it's just two different particle systems. One emitting to the left and one emitting to the right, but their particles that they're generating do have a sort of random speed. So some particles in there move faster than others. So I don't know. Yeah, I guess I'm not entirely sure the seam that you're referring to, but it would be nice to address that if possible, I think. I'm not entirely in love with that. I might just do a scrolling texture, like you said. I might just draw my own texture and just like make it loop with a shader, you know? I might actually, maybe I'll even try that because I'm curious to see. That's probably going to produce a better effect, but we'll see. All right, now we can try our 0 poison issue here. So the thing about the phylactery is it doesn't apply poison until other things also apply poison, so it'll always start off at 0. So let's see what happens. Ooh, that was a chunk. Yeah, so that's not applying the poison effect anymore. Cool. There's the necrosis. Am I gonna win? Oh, nope. I didn't win. Sweet. Cool. That's looking pretty good. All right. So actually, let's see. When I was zoomed out, it looked like what described what I see with the zoomed in with the particle system. Gotcha. I'm actually going to try that. Let's try that now, because I don't think that's going to be very difficult. So rework UI text floats. Rework game UI text floats, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a clever commit writer. Let's see. So this is kind of going to be a tangent, but I think it's going to be fine. How tall is this? So we'll maybe do 6 pixels high. So let's do that. File new. Let's just do 18 times 5. And we'll do 6 pixels tall. And what I'll do is I'll just make a... Now the important thing is that this has to loop. So that should tile pretty nicely, actually. So we'll take that. We'll save this as UI, screen, nope, not UI, screen, health globe. Let's just call it flowred.png. And then we're going to do this one. And we'll flip it, I guess. purple.png, save. Okay. So now in here, we'll get rid of these particles for now, just hide them. Swirls, so we'll need, let me do this real quick. Where's my progress bar? Here it is. Let's turn this down. Hello, where's the value? I guess I'll just search it. Value. I just want to align that so it's basically at the right spot. Okay. So add child node texture, sprite 2D. Foreground swirl. Oh, I already called it for foreground swirl. I'll just call it foreground, I guess. Okay, flow red. This should be a relatively easy shader. I don't even think I need the AI for this one. We'll put it down a little bit so there's no seam, hopefully. Okay, so that's good. Now what I'm gonna do is I think I can do down in here, this texture repeat enabled, and then I can add a shader. I'll save this later. Let's just do the shader. So material, new shader material, new shader. I'll just call this health globe flow.gd shader create. All right, this should be relatively simple. var uv vec2 uv is equal to uv times, let's do vec2. We're going to do uv.x times time times 0.05 or something like that, and then uv.y. Is it not like that? Oh, .y. Color.rgba. Actually, I don't need to do that. Color is equal to texture uv. That is not correct. Okay, so it's scrolling. I guess I need the Y. Okay, so this actually needs to probably be, whoops, put it back. Okay, I thought this was going to be easy. I've done scroll shaders before. I guess I forgot how to do it. Is there like a filter? Hold on a second. Already forgot how to do it. Does the necrosis resume after you revive, or does it start over? It starts over, yeah. So it will reset the necrosis counter, and then, but when you revive, whatever damage was dealt to the enemy sticks. So if you get the enemy down to 40% health and then you die, you're basically guaranteed that if you change nothing about the encounter and you just go again, you'll win, right? So, but let's say that you only do 30% of the enemy's damage or health in damage before you die. Well, obviously just going again, you're going to lose. So you get the opportunity to reorient your board and create a different build before you go forward. And that's kind of like my compromise, because like the problem is if you die and then the encounter just gets entirely reset, you may be mathematically incapable of beating that. And so there's no point to resurrect if you can't beat it, right? But if all the damage you did sticks, then you can get away with, you know, the enemy only had 5 health left, right? And I can just It's like sinking like a putt, like a 3-inch putt. You know, it's like, oh, I almost got there, so I'll just resurrect and finish that, and then make sure that my build does enough DPS for the next encounter. How do you feel about buyer pattern dithering for shading on things? I'm liking it. So I'm using or Bayer buyer, I don't know what it is, but I'm using it in Aseprite to do like the little gradients here. I think it's nice. I like the way it's looking to some extent. I don't know if I would overuse it, but let's see. So I've just got it in a couple of places here on the UI, like up here, just a buyer matrix, and then over here. I think that just creates a little bit like, because a solid purple color would look kind of weird, I think, for like these sections up here. So adding just a little bit of dithering, I think helps. But I'm not using it in every spot. You know, like these are solid colors down here. It's basically just like if I have a big chunk of just filled in space, it just adds a little bit more visual interest to it, I think. Which, you know, like I said, I don't know if I'm in love with it yet. I'll have to see how the UI shapes up, but I think it's okay. Copilot can author commit messages. Probably the only useful thing I found it for. Nice. Welcome back, Sins, by the way. Smooth out the left edge. The math was sound on the UVs, but the visual shader, you have to make a new vec2 from time and 0. Oh, I see. But in a visual shader, you would have to make a new vec2 from time and 0. Am I just not... Hold on. Oh, that's compressing it. I need to shift... Oh, I guess I just need to shift the whole UV over. Oh, that's what I'm doing wrong. That's what I'm doing wrong. Though it needs to be UV plus... It's not a multiplier of the UV coordinates, it's additive. So then I do time times 0.01 and then 0. There we go. Another basic error. That's all right. And then what I'll do is I'll do this. Uniform bool reverse. Can I do ternary operators in here? Var offset UV is equal to this. I don't think I can do this, can I? That's okay. So what I'll do, vec2. Yeah, that doesn't work. Okay. So vec2, I'll just do an if statement. If reverse offset UV times equals vec2 negative 1.01. And then this will be the offset UV here. Okay, so now if I do reverse, it'll go the other direction, which is perfect. So now I'll take this foreground, I'll call this background here. And the shader material, I guess we'll make this unique. Flow red, oops, or flow purple. And then we'll reverse it. Actually, set this up a little bit higher. And then reverse. Actually, I probably want the foreground one to be reversed. Times negative. Yeah, and then this background here. Where's my material? Shader parameters reverse. Okay. I don't know how that's going to look, but let's run up the game and see. Don't use a bool, just use a speed. But then I'd have to, yeah, I don't know. Oh, that's not rendering smoothly. It's chunky. Color equals texture, UV times time times speed. Yeah, but then I have to set the speed to be the same in both shaders manually, and that's kind of what I don't want to do. Just set the value and then have a checkbox to reverse it. I think it's fine. Don't do the conditionals and shader logic. I know you're not supposed to, but like there's plenty of computing power, so it's fine. I know you're not supposed to, but I'm okay wasting CPU and GPU cycles for a little 2D game. It's fine. I prioritize developer experience over anything else. Sue me. Just kidding. All right, so that's actually not looking great though, because it's chunky and not smooth. Okay, I don't know. Maybe I'll just turn up the speed here. I don't even know if I like this anyway. Wonder what would happen if I added an additional like sine wave movement to the curve. I mean, that looks kind of good when it's a little bit faster, I guess. That looks kind of good. I do want to see what that looks like though if I add more sinusoidal movement here. Offset UV plus equals vec2 sine no vec2, let's just do 0 sine time. Oh, that's interesting. That's not the effect that I was going for. That's not the effect that I was going for. Not at all. I'm kind of curious. What happens if I do this? Okay. Offset UV plus equals sine times 0.05. What I wanted to do is stretch. Oh, you know what I could do actually? What could I do? What if I multiplied it? Do I multiply it? Oh, that's just the offset UV. If I do the final UV, maybe. Absolute. Nope. Times equals. That's almost working. That is almost working. Is there like a remap? So this is an absolute value. So we'll call this float UV stretch is equal to the absolute value of the sine of time. We want to remap this, so this is going to be a 0 to 1 value, but we want to remap it to a I guess I can just do times 0.5 here, and then we're going to take the .5 plus UV stretch. What is this going to do? Okay. Let's do times 0.5.0. Too strong. Let's do 0.25 here maybe. This might be getting too small where it's not going to be really not noticeable, but that's all right. Now I wondered if I do yeah, I don't know. That's not looking great, but let's see. Still a bit to go, but definitely better than the particles. The different size pixels and angles weren't working. Yeah. I think that's right. To maybe give it a little bit more depth, you could make it so that the red is slightly above the purple when the health is higher and slightly lower when the purple is low. Oh, that's a good idea, yeah. You may want to multiply the sign value by your factor. Oh, I got it. Okay, yeah. Yeah. I think yeah, I think this is it's getting there, I suppose. Yeah, it's getting there. I think maybe the texture just isn't large enough. I wonder if I sprite, let's just double the size. Sprite canvas size. Height, let's do 12. And then what I'll do is I'll take this and I'll just make this a little bit chunkier here. Flow purple, we gotta reverse this. Uh-oh. Yeah, reverse. Fill this in, boom. Save this as flow red. Okay, now these things need to be a little bit offset. I might be able to get more stretching out of this now. Let's move the background up a little bit. Oh no, that's not gonna work. Can I do 0.5 now? Is that gonna be better? Nope. It actually needs to be a smaller factor? What? But I do get a little bit more stretching out of it, I guess. I kind of want a sine wave to go through on the X as well. UV stretch Y. Float UV stretch X equals, let's do sine time, or cosine time. What happens if I just put this in here? UV stretch Y. UV stretch. This is not going to work. Oh, cosine time times 0.05. Whoa, times. What I probably want to do is I actually want to do I probably want, hold on a second. So that's a stretch, which is a multiplier, but I probably want offset UV plus equals vec2. Let's do it here. Cosine time times texture pixel size times 2 or something like that. 0.0. Invalid arguments for built-in function. Oh, this is .x. Is that having any noticeable impact whatsoever? Oh, that's not working either. I'm trying to recreate what I had for the... Maybe I'll just have to look at the gun-forged banners. I'm surprised Sprite doesn't have a tile mode view where you can see the tiled edges next to the canvas. You can, I think. I don't remember where that setting is, but I do think it's possible. Was dropping by, I must say the pixel art looks really good so far. Thank you, Midmaster. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. If you do both, then it will be a circular motion. Yeah, I see that. I see that. I see that. So let me see. I'm going to see if I can find in here resources, shaders. This is my gun forged stuff. Oh, is it not going to be in here? Do I have to open up Gunforged? Hold on a second. Passive ingot. Nope. Do I not have... Do I have to open up Gunforged? Okay. I will open up Gunforged and take a look. Open. It's going to do the upgrade. Hello, Kiwi. Iwi. Yo, love your content. Thanks for bringing me back into game dev. You're welcome. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. Thank you, thank you. And, yeah, welcome. Trying to figure out this shader nonsense. I'm kind of tempted to ask the AI to do it, but you gotta let this all get imported. That's starting to look better. I just want, like, what I'm trying to do is, like, do another sine wave along the texture, which I've done already, but, oh gosh. All right. How's everyone's day going? Okay. Well, while that's going on, I'm going to continue to see if I can try to find that. Passive ingot banner. Did I just not? Material banner wave. Oh, it's a built-in shader. Okay, that's why I couldn't find it. So I, believe it or not, I did this without AI the first time I did this. So this banner, so it's taking the screen. So what is this doing? Wave offset. It's taking the UV and adding the wave offset times the modifier. Okay, I don't need that. So this is just a offset UV. It's doing a 0 offset. Oh, it's not doing an X offset. So that's the problem. So basically what I'm doing is already correct. Is it though? No, this is just an offset in accordance with a sine wave based on the pixel size and the amplitude. So maybe if I did that, it would look a little bit better. Okay, I'm gonna figure this out eventually. Okay, I'm gonna redo some stuff here. Okay, first things first. Vec2 UV is equal to UV vec2 UV.x sine time times, wait, this is an offset, so I guess I'll just define it down here. UV offset 0 sine times texture pixel size dot y times an amplitude, let's just say 3 for now. Okay, vec2 UV is equal to UV plus UV offset. That is not working. There's a 0 offset in the X. Okay, I guess I don't know how this is working at all. How is that working? Wave offset, screen UV plus wave offset times modifier. Oh, do I have a... Oh, it's taking the in the X position and multiplying it through. Oh, yes, I need to do that. So I'm taking that, the inner part of the sign, and I'm actually using the X position as a component in there. That makes sense. That is not correct either. Okay. But we're getting there. Okay, I'll figure this out eventually. So time times 2 plus... Oh, it's plus. Okay. Why is that filter... Why is that repeat not working? There should be no gap down here because of the repeat settings. Maybe I need to... Do I need to change that? Anyway, let's get the scrolling back in place. So let's do... let's call this UV wave offset. UV wave offset. Let's do scroll, UV scroll offset. Can I just do a UV scroll offset here? Ooh, very nice. Okay. Oops, that's dipping down there. Okay, so maybe I want to clamp the Y? Or yeah, I probably want to clamp. I probably want this to be an absolute value to start. Although that should get rid of the gap there, so I don't know why that gap is still appearing. Okay, anyway. I'll figure that out in just a second here. I want to see what this looks like in game before I go any further. Okay, time for the 2-minute break. Yeah, probably. Big Quail Games, welcome back. Shaders are rough sometimes. I'd be absolutely lost without Godot shaders. Yeah, Godot shaders and the AI is really good at helping write shaders too. And by help, I mean writing the shaders for you. I think that looks good. I don't know if I like the choppiness of it though, but I don't think there's a way to fix that. Except for turning this up. But that might be too fast. Actually, that looks fine. So let's see. So I added just a little bit of that sine wave motion to it, and I think that's helping quite a bit. Oops. Oops. Let's see. I want to see what happens when it gets lower. Yeah, I'm not seeing that gap when it's actually rendering, so maybe that's not a problem. That looks much better, though. That looks so much better. it does look like it might become a problem. So I want to figure out, like, ideally this texture here, there shouldn't be a gap right here. This should just be filled in. Maybe I'm thinking about it wrong because it's shifting the UV up. So what I might actually need to do to fix this is I might just do a texture fix here. I might just make this even thicker here, so I have a lot of leeway. And then I'll flip this around, make it purple, save it here. Then I'll have to reorient this again. Sorry, Gunforged. I don't need you anymore. Okay, so now that the texture is bigger, I can just bump this down. Like so. And then we'll want to make this down as well. Yeah, that should fix it. No need to do a complicated shader fix when texture fix works. I don't know about the bent pixels. Couldn't you use a shader from the banners in Gunforge? Yeah, that's what I was looking at, yeah. Yep. The banner shaders in Gunforged are weird because they're canvas group shaders. So they use like screen coordinates and stuff. And also there's some extra stuff going on in that shader because I made the wave amplitude less toward like the root of the banner, if that makes sense. So it's like it gets more wavy as it gets out to the edges, or to the edge rather. I think that looks good though. That looks much better. Now the thing is though, I want to see what happens if I do, what happens if I turn this up? It'd be nice to add some variability in here too. Oh, look at that. What happens if I do 50? Oh, that's not good. What did I have before 5? Why does the back one not seem to be waving at all? Is it because of this UV scroll offset? Probably, right? Because it's just negating it. What happens if I do, yeah, it's probably just negating it. Can I just do... Oh, this needs to be, okay, so vec2, let's just do total offset is equal to UV wave offset plus UV scroll offset. Why does that not appear to be waving? Do I need to change the multiplier here? Yeah, I do. Okay, so for the back one, I need to change the multiplier. Okay. Okay. All right, so here's what I'll do. I'm going to implement Christopher's suggestion here. UV... Okay. Uniform float speed equals negative 0.15. Uniform float wave multiplier equals 7.0. Okay, and then in the... These are unique, right? Or... Yeah, I think they are unique. So do this. So for the background, we'll do... That didn't do anything. Oops. Why did that not do anything? Oh, I'm not... Because I'm not using it. Oh my gosh, I must be tired today. Goodness gracious. Hey everyone, buy my courses. You too can learn how to make Stupid mistakes. Okay. All right. All right. After much trial and tribulation, we now have this. Okay. Yeah, I think that's what it was, Christopher. I think it was, there was some kind of negation happening with the UVs, I think, which was just basically causing it not to do the wave. But I think I've fixed it now. This looks much nicer. I like this a lot. It actually looks like liquid now. Sweet. What do we think? How's it looking? Any other tweaks I should make to this? I'll just let the villager smack on me a little bit so we can see what it looks like as it goes down. Yeah, that looks so much nicer. Oh, I won. The necrosis took over. I didn't need to put anything on my board. Nice. Try the depth effect I suggested. Yeah, so how would I do that? So you said make it... Hold on, let me scroll up. Make it so that the red is slightly above the purple when the health is higher and slightly lower when the health is low. Okay, so let me think about how to achieve that. Actually, let me commit what I have first. So update... Actually, I'm going to delete these particles. Update health globe effect. Okay, so the depth thing. Actually, if you fix the position of purple, you only need to scale the position of red. True. I mean, yeah, I only need to scale one. Let's see. Let me just see something here. Position. Okay. So it looks like I have maybe 2 pixels to work with here, which I could change if I change the size of the texture, I suppose. So it would look more like this at the bottom and then this at the top. So this would be maximum depth. So maximum depth when it's full. Oh, the red is slightly above the... Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, so this is when it's low. So it needs to be like this when it's full. Okay, and then this needs to just go down by a couple pixels as it goes down. Have I decided when I'm going to work on the multiplayer GD script course? Yeah, I think soon. I'm going to get started soon. And 50% they should be equal. So they go from there. 50. I guess I'm not understanding how this is going to accomplish. So you should see more of the purple as it goes down. The problem is I just don't have a lot of room. Like this is as tall as the red can go, but I can move the purple. Oh, but the purple is not... It's not in the right spot. Because I can't move the purple down like this. Oops. Okay, so that's there. Yeah. Can you position the purple under the fill rect? Yes, but that's gonna break my whole... Like, the way I have it is like these swirls can just be moved up and down together in conjunction with the fill, and then I'd have to coordinate those two things if I broke out of that, because I'd have to take this background and move it under here, but now it's a child of a control node and it's like a whole mess. Anchors or Z-index? Z-index makes me really nervous because it ends up creating some weird situations. I try not to use Z-index if I can avoid it. I think, let me see. Did I move the mask on accident? That mask seems wrong. Should I do something here? Hold on. Hold on. I think there's a problem with the mask here. I know I'm jumping around. Hold on a second. Health globe. I think this needs to be... Let's take the mask. Select, modify, expand. Oops. All right. There we go. So I think I can just basically move this down a little bit. The background purple. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to slide it down easily though to where it's like not visible anymore. I think that's going to take a little bit too much effort. It looks great on its own now. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good suggestion, but I think that's... I'm going to have to change all of my scene setup to get that to work. So I think I'll just leave it the way it is now. And revisit that later. I think that mask change was good though. I was missing like 1 pixel there. Here we go, boom. School shader should do a splash effect when you take damage. Oh, that's a good idea. I was just musing if it was easy to implement. Yeah, I mean, if it was, I thought it was going to be easier than it was going to be, but I forgot that my scene setup is kind of wonky. Because like to put that effect, it's like, it's a texture progress bar, but then the effects are 2 layers of shader textures, and then, yeah, it's just kind of a mess. Actually, maybe the mask was okay the way it was. Because now it looks weird. Okay. Well, this is why we experiment with things. It's fine. Now I gotta change this mask again. All right. What did I even change here? I didn't change anything? Oh. I changed some things. Reload from disk, what? All right, update positions. Cool, all right, that's looking great. So I'm feeling good about that. So what else do we have going on here? Oh, I need to prevent signals from being handled on board. on hidden board UIs. Actually, I don't think that's necessary anymore. Did I already do that? Board UI. Health component.health changed. Oh, that's probably fine. All right, what else do we got to do? Add flame effect, shop, allow player to back out of encounters, add health variability based on combat difficulty. Oh yeah, I do want to do that. Booster pack. I want to do more visual work. There's a lot of visual work to do, animations and such. Add reroll to booster pack. I kind of want to do a new card though too. We got a lot of stuff to do. Okay, tell you what, I'm going to take a quick 2-minute break and think about it for a second. And then when I come back, I'll hopefully have an idea of what I want to work on next. I do want to, one of the important things is I think I do want to show the enemy health values on the combat encounters. So I think I might play around with that a little bit and see what that looks like. So that's probably what we'll do because that's a UI related like visual thing too. So I'll probably do that. But I'm going to go on a quick 2-minute break and get a refill of my drink and all that good stuff. When I come back, we'll work on that. In the meantime, please check out the links in the description below. Yeah, I want... what do I want? Oh, I want to let you know that Gunforged is available, and also that it's bundled with a couple of different games, so you can get 2 games at a discount for the, less than the combined price of both. So check out the store page. Also, the Udemy courses that I have are available in the description below as well, so you can check those out if you want to learn how to build a complete game in the Godot engine. Yeah, I'll be right back in 2 minutes, and we'll continue on with this work. All right, I'm back. So let's work on showing. So there's a couple of things that I want to do. First, adding some health variability to the combat encounters. Right now, it's just based, the health of the enemies is based on how many combat encounters you've completed, plus some kind of formula. So I want to do here, I want to maybe on the right-hand side here show how much health the board has. And then these are difficulty tiers. So this is tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. So this is a more difficult encounter than this one, at least in principle. And so I want to generate a random range of health values, but have those general ranges increase over time. So you could get an easy encounter that happens to have more health than typical easy encounters, and you could have a hard encounter that has less health than typical hard encounters. But the health here will always be greater than the healths here. Because right now they all have the same health. Like if I jump into this one, it's always going to have 50. It's always going to be the same health regardless. So difficulty should be a matter of, you know, how much health does the enemy have, which means that it's basically a DPS check against the player. And then also the individual cards on the board for the enemy are going to be more difficult as well. I'm late. Well, that's okay, Adam. Welcome back. Always good to see you. Do you make sound effects and music yourself? I don't. Typically for music, I hire a contractor for that. And then sound effects, I just use a sound effects library that I've been building. Anytime like any properly licensed sound effects comes out where it's like, oh, you know, here's a 10 gigabyte pack of sound effects that you can use for free in your commercial projects or whatever. I just grab it and store it. And I have like 200 gigabytes of sound effects that I could just browse through and use. And all of them are... like I have the license to use them because I grabbed them during the right conditions or I bought them, you know, things like that. So yeah, I think it already takes so long to make games. Making my own music and sound effects would be like, ugh. Not to mention I don't have the skill to do either of those things, at least not yet. So when we generate those enemy encounters, where is that happening? Combat selection, event state machine. So I think this is actually going to be fine because what I'll do in here, pick board configurations. This is scaled board configuration model. I wonder if I should put the health on the scaled board configuration model as well. Probably not. Combat encounters completed. So the health is generated down here, but I need to know the health ahead of time. Private int board healths. So board healths. var I is equal to board configurations.length. So I think this health scaling is generally okay. This growth rate, this. So we're going to take all this and put this here. But I want to add a range here. So base enemy board health. I guess I could just change the base health to some extent and just let the math take over from there. Or I could multiply the number after. I think I'll take this after. So var calculated health. So what we'll do is we'll say, okay, so var health reduction % is equal to, we'll do 20, 10, and 0%, I think. So we'll make the baseline value the most difficult one. So health reduction % is equal to 0.2 minus I times 0.2. So we'll start it off at 20%, and as I approaches, as I approaches 2, which is the max value it's going to be in this loop, it's going to go down to 0. Okay, so that health reduction percent. Now we're going to take that calculated health. So we're going to say calculated health times equals health reduction percent. And then what we're going to do is we're going to say, oh, this has to be an integer value. Let's keep this as a float, actually. So we'll just keep this in a float until we're done making the calculations, and then we'll get it as an int. So calculated health times equals health reduction percent. Oh, this needs to be 1f minus health reduction percent. Stop. Calculated health. Yeah, so then I'm going to do calculated health is equal to mathutil.rng.randf_range, and we'll give it a range here. So we'll do actually, let's just do times equals mathutil randf range negative 0.1f, no, negative 0.9f, no, 0.9f, 1.1f. So it's going to be further reduced by either 10% or increased by 10%. So it's a little bit of wiggle room. And we'll say board health, mass sealed, and calculated health. So yeah, basically what we're doing is we're saying, okay, here's the base health, here's the growth function. And then if we're doing the easiest encounter, we're just going to reduce it by 20% off the bat. But then we're going to go back and we're going to take that 20% reduced number and we're going to reduce it further by 10% or increase it by 10%. And then that should create a nice variability in board healths without going overboard. And I'm also going to increase this to 60 because 50 felt like a medium difficulty number, but I want to base this on like the highest difficulty here. So let's do that. Do 65, and that should work. Do you know where I can grab such pack for a similar game? Yeah, if you look up Sonus GDC audio bundle, I'll put it in the chat. Sonus GDC audio bundle. If you look that up, there's like gigabytes upon gigabytes of data that Sonus has released. And how do I get this to go away? And that will get you a good starting point. Yeah, Google helps too. I mean, Google, it can be hard to find stuff on Google with respect to sound effects because a lot of it is like subscription services where you have to pay, and it's very hard to find just like readily available packs to download just from a Google search, I think, at least in my experience. And it's also a risk too, because you could say, well, I want to download a royalty-free sound pack, but if you just download something off a random website, you may not be certain that whoever's hosting that audio pack has the rights to do that. You could just be getting pirated copies, right? So the Sonus bundle is nice because it's from a reputable sort of provider, and you have the guaranteed license. Sometimes humble bundles have like game audio packs that you can pick up for like $5. itch.io is a great place to find sound effects too. You can just look up sound effects packs on itch.io. The annoying thing though is like sometimes people upload assets to itch.io and they don't include a license, and so it's like, you know, they're charging like $2 for a audio or art thing, but then like they'd have nowhere in the description like, can I use this for commercial projects, you know? So anyway, UI looks awesome. It's inspiring to see your work. Thank you, Vinny. I appreciate that. Thank you. It's coming along. It's coming along. It's coming along. All right. So we got the board healths in here. So now create enemy board. We're going to want to put this int board health in here, and we're going to get rid of this. And then we'll put board health there. So this option index now, I'm going to do private int selected board health. And we're going to grab this down here. Cool. Okay, so that should work. So now that I have this board healths here, I should be able to go in here and do public void set board healths. And now for all these options here, you know what I might do actually? Let's do int board healths. And I'll just add a little safety thing here. If configuration options dot length is not equal to board healths dot length, then we're gonna throw new exception. Array size mismatch, doesn't matter. It's just a safety thing for me. So in this button set configuration, int option index, and then let's do int health as well. And we'll pass this along there. And then I'm gonna need to go in my combat selection button. And this is where I'm gonna need to do my stuff. Okay. I just joined. Can you tell me in short where you get sounds usually? Yeah, so the Sonus GDC audio bundle in the chat, that's just the name of it. I just downloaded all of those bundles. They're available as torrents, and I just stored them on my hard drive. So that's typically the first place I go when I need sound effects. And then you can also go to itch.io. That's a great place to find sound effects as well. And those are basically the only places I use really, actually, honestly. Oh, Humble Bundle too. Occasionally the Humble Bundle will have like developer related things, like game developer related stuff. And sometimes that includes sound effects packs. So, and of course the way the Humble Bundle works is you can basically just pay what you want to a certain extent. So if you just have $5 to spare, you could get another couple gigabytes of sound effects and whatnot. Yeah, you're welcome. You are welcome, Dairani. Yes, exactly. Humble Bundle is great. I like it. It's not bad. No, I mean, I think, you know, just subscribe to the emails, and like sometimes an email from Humble Bundle will land in my inbox and it's like, oh, I might as well pick that up, because it's just nice to, you know, that's part of like, you have to have the mindset, I think, of like building up a library. Like even if something comes up that you're not immediately interested in using, sometimes just grabbing it and storing it on your hard drive and just building up that library just will make your life easier in the future. So I recommend doing that. Asset and texture packs, yeah, stuff like that is great. And it's great too, because it's like I said, it's just real cheap. You know, you got $2, $3, $4, $5. You know, obviously, you know, it's a good thing to pay more if you can, because a lot of it goes to charity, but you know, nothing wrong with paying a low amount either. Okay, so in here now I need some kind of health thing. So I do want to do like a little health icon. I might do that now. So let's do like a 9x9 icon. We'll just do a little cute little heart. It's gonna be so cute. Just a cute little heart. I'm like embarrassingly bad at drawing hearts too, but we'll see. I think it's just gonna have to be, I'm trying to keep it 9x9 with like borders in place, but that's okay. That's okay. Actually, you know what I should do? I should try to draw like an anatomically accurate heart. That would be much better. I hope I don't get anything too graphic here when I search Google. I will bring it up on my other screen first. But The question is, can I do an anatomically accurate or something that gives the impression of an anatomically accurate heart with just this small canvas size? That's a good question. This is a good example. Maybe I'll just open this image in a new tab here. This is a good example here. So if I could distill like this kind of shape down into a 9x9, I think that would be okay, actually. So let's try it. So it's like that kind of. Okay, that's already a decent shape here, I think. Let's actually increase this. Yeah, that looks okay. Let me go back. Actually, maybe not. Nope, it needs to be... Actually, you know what? This shape that I had was fine, I think. It looks a little bit not correct, but that's fine. Okay, so there's that. I'll do this. This will be a little bit easier. So it's not exactly correct, or I'm not going to try to match the shape exactly. I'm mostly just trying to get a feel here for how to make this look. I don't think I'm going to be able to pull this off, but we're going to see. We're going to see. You know, you'll never know if you don't try. So there's like I'm gonna make this canvas size a little bit bigger because it's hard to tell a lot of times what it actually looks like unless you have like your background color in place too. See, like that already looks a little bit better now that I've got that, but I do need to keep in mind that this needs to fit inside a 9x9 rectangle here. So I can really only go one more pixel up. And the question now is that, is this actually gonna look like a heart or not? That looks kind of good. I wonder if I could use like blue to some extent. That seems like it'll work. That doesn't look bad, actually. That doesn't look bad, actually. I'm kind of tempted to use this. I think I just need some more shape there. Does this still fit in a 9x9? Yes. I think maybe that needs to go in. I should probably... Yeah, I don't know. You know what I'm probably not doing is I'm not adding the black separations. Although I don't think that's going to work. So maybe I'll just do it there. I don't know. How are we feeling? I don't know about this. I don't know about this. You have a very large project. Will using C# not slow down your iteration speed because of compilation? It can. Yeah, Gunforged got to the point where compilation was taking a little bit, but the main way to combat that is to just make more changes before compiling and testing. Which is easier said than done. But yeah, that is a consideration. So how do you commit your Godot 4 files to GitHub? I see you use some sort of Godot extension for VS Code. But what about the assets like PNG and audio? I just commit that. Yeah, this is just in my Git project. So I'm not sure. Is there something else that you're thinking about? Or I just commit all the audio and PNGs directly to it. Because none of the assets I have, like you can commit things to Git if they're less than 100 megabytes, I think. Or GitHub at least. I don't know if Git itself has that limitation, but GitHub lets you commit files that are less than 100 megabytes. And most of the sound effects I use end up being like a couple of megabytes at most. Not even sound effects, but that would be things like music, right? Most sound effects are like on the order of like 300 kilobytes or something. And then art, like the PNG art and the A-Sprite files, those end up being like, this A-Sprite file plus the PNG that I export is probably going to be less than 5 kilobytes. Canvas size will be tricky, yeah. Heck, a lot better than a cutesy heart. Yeah, the thing is that immediately give the impression of a heart, or are people going to see this and be like, what is that? You know? You can use Git LFS. Yeah, so Git large file storage for large files. And the thing is, too, like, it's not just an arbitrary limitation. My understanding is that typically with Git, when you're like restoring a project, it restores the entire history, and it stores the history of each file in its entirety. And so if you have a bunch of 99 megabyte files and they keep changing regularly, like every single change creates a new 99 megabytes of data in your Git repository. And that's why it gets very heavy. And so for large files, there's a different versioning. There's a different way of versioning them that avoids that problem to a large extent. How do you switch scenes without causing memory leaks? I use C# very limited, but I noticed that it has absolute horrible garbage collector. Do you manually delete signal references and such? I think so the main thing that's confusing about Godot with C# is that Godot runs its own garbage collection, and so does C#. And so the problem is that, you know, if you have an object that you're not freeing, then that object can just exist in memory and it will never be cleaned up in the C# garbage collector because it says, oh, I'm still being used by, you know, this Godot object. And then Godot doesn't free up the object because Godot doesn't garbage collect normal objects. Like Godot doesn't garbage collect nodes. It doesn't garbage collect does it garbage collect resources? I think it does, but there's a lot of things that Godot doesn't garbage collect. And of course, when you're doing like signal handling and stuff, you may create dependencies that prevent garbage collection on either end. So yeah, it's a little bit tricky to deal with, but what I do is so if I'm dealing with nodes, like you just have to free nodes, like that's something that you have to do. And Godot should handle cleaning, or the C# scripts that are associated with those nodes should be cleaned up after the nodes are freed. You just shouldn't have to do anything there. Signal handlers, I think you have to be tricky with the event style signal handling because you do have to manually dereference the signals in certain cases, or unsubscribe, I guess, from the signals. But yeah, otherwise, just make sure you're extending from ref counted. And the one thing you do have to avoid is circular references. So in my card node here, or let's go to my card stats. So in my card stats here, when I create a card stats object which extends ref counted, I'm passing in, or in my card stats, I can create the card node, which is the node, that's the visual part of the card. So that's like what the card art contains and everything. It's called toNode, but then I have to set card stats in that node as well, so that the node has a reference to the card stats. So the problem is that this card stats references the card node, and the card node references the card stats. So even if I free this card stats object or I free the node, there's still like a circular dependency, I think, there, which causes it not to be freed. Or garbage collected, I mean, this card stats object. And so what I have to do is I actually created a queue-free method on here. Where is that? Here, queue-free, where it detects if the card node is valid. It will free that card node, and then it will also... well, first it removes it from the board manager, but then it sets the card stats to null to break the circular dependency, to break the circular reference, I mean, not dependency. And then I can call queue-free on that node. So I'm basically just making sure that when I want to free the card node, I make sure that it's no longer referencing this card stats object, and then it gets freed. And then usually I'm calling queue-free after a card stats object is no longer referenced anywhere. And then Godot will automatically come and clean that up because there's no references to it anymore. So I haven't actually confirmed if this works, but there is a note in the docs about ref counted where if you have a circular reference, then the garbage collection or the cleanup won't happen. So you need to break the circular reference when you want to free it. So that may be something that you need to keep in mind. But yeah, I don't know the internals of how all of it works. It's kind of complicated, and I think a lot of it's just trial and error. But yeah, it doesn't hurt to have like good hygiene from the get-go while you're building your project. When in doubt, if you're worried about signal connections causing some kind of like reference counting issues, you can just use the Godot like .connect method to connect to signals. That solves a lot of problems typically. Mostly you don't have to worry about manually disconnecting signals when the node gets freed. So anyway, hopefully that gives you some ideas. Like I said, I'm not an expert on this stuff, but it impresses me how you can reproduce that heart in such a small canvas size. I mean, is it okay? It looks kind of weird to me. I might give it another shot. We use Perforce at work. Yeah, Perforce is one of the reasons why it's more popular for game dev. I'm trying to set up a version control, and VS Code has a way to commit scripts, but how does one send the rest of the assets? I've never used Git before. You just need to make sure they're in your Git repository. So as long as they're inside the Git repository, meaning that they're in the root directory of your Git repository or in the subdirectory of your Git repository, they should automatically be picked up and you should be able to commit them. How does one even learn things like that? All these issues are very obvious. All these are very obvious with issues with so little documentation. Yeah, a lot of it is trial and error. A lot of it is just like, you know, reading random forums. The knowledge is definitely scattered around, and it's just that's one of the tricky parts about Godot is a lot of the stuff that you need to learn about it is like just kind of floating out in the ether somewhere, and you kind of just have to be paying attention. I don't know how to. I know that's not very helpful, but and I'm not trying to accuse you of not paying attention. I'm just saying like you just gotta kind of be involved in the Godot community, and like these issues just come up and you learn things. I think that this heart shape is a little bit bad. I don't know. I don't know. Is there a different thing? Is there a different icon I can use for like a life force or something that is not a cartoony heart? This is beautiful, by the way, whoever drew this. Make it 1 pixel taller at the bottom. Right now it's sitting like a potato. The problem is it needs to fit within a 9x9 square. And I've already exceeded, like this is 9x9 here. So I guess I could make it smaller. I'd have to shrink everything in, probably. I don't have enough space. Let me try again. I'll focus more on the shape this time. I will focus more on the shape this time. Maybe I'll just more directly reference that. Okay, is that a better shape? I think that might be a better shape. It's not as plump as it could be, but I've got 2 extra spaces here. So, oops. Oops. Do I still have one? I've got one. So now I can hopefully do this. I don't know, I think that shape is better. Maybe I shouldn't use the full width. Maybe I can use that. So that's the problem now, is that this takes up the full frame, and so any other, like if I wanted to do like the aorta or whatever this one is. I think that's the aorta? No. I don't know. I don't know. This is not going to work, is it? Any other alternate icons? It was good before. You liked it the way that this was? Does look kind of like a potato. They're usually more tall. Well, this would be like it laying on its side, you know what I mean? Like if you rotated this counterclockwise a little bit. I'm way more plump than I should be, yeah. Does it have to be a heart, maybe a flame or an ankh? Yeah, so that's what I'm asking. Like, I wonder if there's a different icon I can use for life force that will fit in a 9x9 square. Maybe I can Google that. Let's see. Who knew little icons could be so difficult? Of course, these are all going to be hearts in here. Life icon. I mean, I could do like, no, I can't do like a blood drop because that's already the currency icon. Maybe with just a little bit of finagling, this can get working as well. What did I just do? Oh. They're taller than they are wide. That doesn't look good, but that's all right. It does kind of look like a potato. It kind of does look like a potato. Kind of looks like a red scarab beetle. Ankh isn't a horrible idea. Hello, Hollow. Thank you for what? Oh, was there a question here that got deleted? Hello, Blake. I'm assuming something got deleted. I missed something. Drop of blood or Ankh. Yeah, I can't do drop of blood because that's already a currency icon. I could do a flask, yeah. Is this a life icon for the player or card? This is for the enemy. So this is this is the enemy selection UI. I'm just gonna display the health over here, but I just want to add an icon. The other problem is I don't really have enough colors for this either. Corvid-19, yeah. Hello, N. Peters. Trying to do some network stuff in Godot. Have you done any network stuff in your streams recently so I can get some inspiration? I have, yeah. If you look at the other prototype I was making a couple months ago on stream, it looks like little blue people, little blue guys. I was doing a bunch of networking in those. So yeah, you could scrub through those if you're interested. But yeah, I think that's it. I was just saying thank you for the Godot course you made on Udemy. I just finished it. It was doing a game for a game jam. Got a lot of praise about it. Awesome. Yeah. You are welcome, Hala. Very happy to hear that. Thank you for taking the course as well. Now it just occurs to me that Ask ChatGPT was in reference to figuring out a life force icon. What kind of icons for a video game could be used to represent health? Blood drops, skulls with red glow, soul orbs, pulsing hearts, or magical runes. More suggestions, please. Blood vials, bone fragments, spirit wisps. Magical seals, phylactery, soul flames, enchanted armor. I feel like there's got to be a way to make the heart work. I feel like there's got to be a way to do it. There's got to be a way to do it. There's got to be a way to do it. Does this still fit in a 9x9? Ooh, okay. So I could do... Nope. Oh, who knew this would be so hard? Wonder if I... Ay, ay, ay. Nope. What happens if I... Can I just... I'm trying to maybe add too much detail here. Wonder if I just do this. Is this going to give the impression of a heart enough? Oops. Is that going to work well enough? Let's see. How does that look? Does that look okay? I don't know. I don't know. As the Aussies would say, oi dinar. Or is that... Apologies to any Aussies out there. Let's see. I have to leave now, but I shall catch you all later. Thanks for joining, Craig. Great to see you as always. Hope you have a great rest of your day. I'm sure you're gone by now, but have a great rest of your day nonetheless. Please say AI, say please to the AI so it remembers your kindness when they start to take over, yeah. The generic heart icon would be the easiest for players to understand. If it goes outside that, you'll need to have that UI shown elsewhere so players can make that health connection. Yeah, I don't want to use the cartoony one though, like the typical heart icon. I think it would be more thematic if I could get away with doing this. But it's not going that well, so... This doesn't look right either. Doesn't look right. Could you just do the health number with a blood heart-like texture? That's an interesting idea. That is an interesting idea. What about some type of modified first aid icon or something like the red cross or the white cross in it or whatever? Yeah, I could do that maybe. What about a stone with a heart carving and blood on it? That might work. I like this shape better than the sack of coins one. Keep chiseling. Yeah, the shape is better. I agree. But... I just don't know. I don't know what I'm missing here. Doesn't really look like a heart either. There's no way to send a link, right? You're missing the blue. Found a great example. Yeah, there's no way to send a link. I think YouTube just deletes those automatically. Missing the blue. I mean, I don't have... This is the blue color that I have. Which doesn't look right. That's the darkest, like, blue I have. Otherwise, I have this color, which is basically black. It almost looks... There's not a lot of contrast there. I could potentially weave like this in, though. I just don't... This part is weird. Gosh. Why is it so hard to draw? Oh, wait a minute. Kind of wish the preview would show where my current pixel is. That looks weird right there. That big solid line doesn't look good either. When you first drew it, it actually looked good. I don't agree. That's why I continued drawing. I don't think this is possible, at least not at my skill level. I don't think this is possible. I don't think this is possible. I mean, that looks okay. Have you ever heard of tunnel vision? Yes, I'm aware of what tunnel vision is. Okay, I don't think this is possible. That looks okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure this out later. Now the question is, do I put the less than ideal icon in there, or do I just do something else? Let's just do something else. Sometimes that's how it be. Oops. Hello? Thank you. Okay. All right, we'll just do this. We'll just go back to the cartoon heart. We'll just go back to it. Trying to add some flair. The thing is, these hearts are so boring. I'm sick of seeing them. Sick of it. Oh, you have health? Oh, and it looks like this? Oh, very cool. You know? It's just kind of like, I want to do something different for the heart icon. Oh well. You know what they say. Oh well. Can I do this? Let's see. It's alright for now. It's alright for now. Okay. I'll save this though, so I have this. Combat selection. Heart icon. Oh, I'm gonna need to trim this up. That's okay. Is this 9x9? Yeah. Heart icon. Selection. Okay. All right. Because you're spending too much time on a minor detail. Sometimes art takes time. Well, like, so that's the thing. It's not... Is it a minor detail? Yes, but that's not the point. The point of that exercise was I'm trying to stretch my skill level. Right? So yeah, is it a minor detail? Yes, but it's also the vehicle through which I'm trying to learn how to do something that I haven't really done before, which is like, namely, how do I draw something like an anatomical heart on a 9x9 canvas, right? So the time spent was learning. It wasn't, you know, yes, I was trying to work towards a product, but the reason I don't just give up on it immediately is because I'm trying to, like I said, I'm trying to stretch my skills. So it's like, it's not just 10 pixels, it's I'm building skill through doing that. Which, you know, I learned a bunch of things, namely how not to do it, but you know, it's that's just how it goes. I always revisit the theme session from your Godot 4 Vampire Survivor Side course. I'm not a big fan of UI. Yeah, it's not ideal. The UI is like, I don't like doing UIs either, but this is a very UI heavy game, so congratulations, I played myself. It's fine. It's fine. So this combat selection button, so we'll do a text direct here. Actually, I need a HBox container. HBox container. See if we can get this to work here. This should be fine. So if I do this, oh wait, is that gonna, I might have to do text control. Yeah, I'm probably gonna need to do another control node here. Health control, I guess. HBox container. Do that. Text direct. Heart icon. Keep centered. Label. Okay, and then this, we'll turn this position. Where is it? Okay, that should work. That should work. Okay, so this is the health container. Make sure all of this is set to ignore. Okay, and then here's my health label. All right, so we should be able to change this now. UI is tough. I've been working on a dynamic menu system for like a week. Yeah, it is very tough. Maybe just go completely different direction. Say another icon represents the health, like 1, 2, 3 eyeballs or something. Yeah, but to Jackie's point too, it's like I'd have to educate the player on like that's what the icon means. Jackie is right. Like that heart icon is pretty much a universal, like here's what health is, right? And that's why I kind of like the idea of doing an anatomically correct heart. Well, it's like, well, it's still a heart, but it's going to more closely match the theme of the game. And so hopefully it wouldn't be that big of a leap for people to say, oh, that's an anatomically correct heart, so it's health, right? More versus doing something like eyeballs, like that's completely non-standard. And so that would need to be, you know, communicated to the player in some way other than just an icon. It's fine. It's okay. It's all right. So in here, okay, let's see if that works. Let's see if that works. So here's the blood drop thing. I still need to figure out the currency stuff. Like I said, I wanted to do the 4 humors for currency, but I'm going to have the same issue, which is like, how do I draw yellow bile as an icon? It's going to be a little bit rough. But, you know, that's what we do. Okay, so the mouse events are no longer working. I think I might have accidentally set something to ignore that I shouldn't have. No, it's fine. Container. Why does this not work anymore? Did I do something? Why does... Oh, I know what's going on. Okay, hold on a second. These are a little bit... So this needs to be... reset the size and then do this. Why can I no longer select anything? Did I do something wrong? Oh, how did this get set? This needs to be ignored as well. Okay. All right. I just assumed all 4 humans would be the same icon in different colors. That would work, yeah. I was thought about doing that, just like yellow, red, black, whatever. What was the... Wait, 4 humors? Yellow bile, black bile, yeah. Blood and phlegm. There we go. Dog 1, mutton 1. So we got 55 health, 61, and 71. So these actually all generated on the high side. So, you know, I mean, you know as a player now what this means. That's health, right? So... Now, the only reason I don't display the text here as well is because it could potentially be very long and bleed into the other one. So I only show it on hover. Maybe I should do the same for the health, but I think the health is probably okay. The health is probably going to be the greatest indicator of how difficult... Well, maybe not. I don't know. Villager arming sword. So that's 61 health. So I have control over that, and I can also show the rewards there too. Yep, yeah, the mouse ignore. I don't know, because it was working previously, I don't recall ever switching that texture rect mouse setting, but it works now. So this one's probably actually going to get to the point where, ooh, necrosis is probably going to kick in here, I think. I might have to further tweak the numbers here. Wonder if I should turn that health back down, actually. I have 1 health left. Come on, necrosis, save me. Oh, I'm going to die. Yep, I'm dead. I think that health number change is probably not good, actually. So what I'm going to do is change this back to 50. Relic cards. Here we go. 244s. That doesn't sound right to me. But we'll give it the benefit of the doubt and we'll continue on. Might have just generated 44 twice, you know? Who knows? Also, the numbers are being sealed, right? Sealinged, so they're not... it may be the case that the percentages are just different enough where they don't create separate numbers when they get sealed. I could do rounding instead, maybe, but that wouldn't make much of a difference either. Goodbye, villager. Increase board size, yes. Increase board size. 63, 73, 74. Let's do 74. So those incenses actually don't have... Ooh, I'm getting my butt kicked here. This necrosis is probably going to kick in here. Go necrosis, save me. Nice. More minion cards. Ooh, Viper, yes. Add enchantment to card, poison enchant. Boom. Oops. Boom. Okay, max health increase. That. Arming sword, dog 1. Ooh, villager 4? 17 damage? Wow, that villager's been hitting the gym. Let's see. Oh, I should have moved that incense over down here. I was being dumb, I guess. Goodbye. Nice. This is feeling pretty good. Ooh. Apply 3 poison, double the poison applied. Oh, wow, we're doing poison build. I gotta swap these around, though. Yep. Yep. Okay. Add enchantment to card. Echo enchant. Boom. Look at that. Echo, apply 3 poison, double the poison applied. So it's going to apply 12 poison. We're going to 162 health. Let's go. That just applied 14 poison. Nice. And that's right, because this one has the enchant. All poison applied is increased by 1. We are doing poison build. Let's go. Wow. That's very strong. Okay, we'll take another... Actually, let's take this. Embalming fluid. Can I do alchemy? I want to do some alchemy. Dang it. Upgrade that. Put that there. Put that there. Yes. 265. Let's go. That is a tier 4 dog. Oh, tier 1 mutton. What does this do? 15, okay. Might have to change how poison works, because it's very strong. I actually increased the numbers of everything, like the health and the damage and everything, so that poison could be used more effectively, but I might have to change how that works. Might have to do something, because right now the way it works is you apply poison, it deals damage equal to the number of poison stacks, and then it decreases the poison by 1. But of course, once you start getting to like 30 stacks of poison, it's like 30 and then 29 and then 28, plus your poison's typically growing. So what I could do is, I don't know, maybe I could cut the poison stack number in half instead. So if you apply 30 poison, it'll do 30 damage, and then it'll do 15 and then 7. Are you going to do a health globe for the opponent too? Right now it's hard to visually compare the sphere global horizontal progress bar back and forth when it's a close round. I may do that, yeah, so like slide in a health globe over here. I probably should, huh? Do a different frame for it though. Do you have any open source projects? I want to see how C# code is written in mid-sized Godot projects, since I've never done that before and I'm interested in how it's structured. I do not. I don't think. Let me think. I mean, I think I do have one project that's open source C#, but it's not something that I would really recommend, because I did that when I was still early on in learning Godot. You could check it out if you want, but I don't know if I'd use it as an example of what to do. Is there a way to view... See if I can view my public projects here. LD50, what is this? I don't know. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you could just look at my my repositories and browse through there if you're interested. I'll link it here. You could check that out if you're interested and just browse through. There are some examples in there, but I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if I'd use any of that as like a source of truth of what to do, but if you're curious, you can look through. I don't think the boss's health scales still, which is kind of funny. Boom. So yeah, I got to do some balancing work for sure on this game. I don't know how I'm going to do that. Boom, boss with 45 health. Let's go. Goodbye. Okay. All right, I'm gonna have to think about that some more, but let's see. Add health variability to combat encounters. Okay, well, that's going to be it for the stream today. It went for quite a while, nearly 3 hours, I guess 2 hours and 40 minutes. So yeah, that was a good stream. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you all for being here. And it was great to see you all and talk with you all. Oh, I have an out of range exception. Oh, that's just, yeah, that's the boss. Anyway, so thanks again, everyone, for watching. Very much appreciate that. Again, if you want to support my work, you can check out the links in the description below. Gunforged is available for sale. That's my newly released commercial game. And I also have 2 Udemy courses available for sale. Actually 3, but one of them is quite outdated. So, but you can check those out in the description below as well. Also, like, subscribe, watch my other videos, all of that good stuff. And thank you also to the VOD watchers and lurkers out there. Very much appreciate your support. So thanks again, everyone. It was great talking with you today, and I will see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. All right, bye-bye, everyone.